Hey guys, Chester Westerford here, and welcome to the channel, where, as well as starring in a web series I create with my cousin, you should check that out. I also like to share opinions on pop culture. I do trailer reactions, and movie and TV reviews, book reviews, and even sometimes unbox and review merchandise. So let's get started without further ado. My review of Doctor Who Series 12, Episodes 1 and 2, Spyfall, Parts 1 and 2. On New Year's Day, my personal favorite TV show of all time, Doctor Who, returned with a Bond-esque story, which served as the first two-parter of the Chibnall era. And let me say, for the first two-parter, it was a doozy. We open with some mysterious light aliens attacking MI6 agents. The Doctor and her friends are called in to find out what is happening and save the day. I won't bore you with the whole synopsis. After all, since you're watching this, I'm assuming you've already seen it. If not, let me warn you that I will not be staying away from spoilers. Okay, first things first. I loved the return of the cold open. I really felt that was something lacking last series. Not the end of the world that it wasn't there, but I did feel like some of the episodes just needed that hook to draw you in and make it more exciting. The cold open was usually something shocking or just mysterious enough to get you excited for the episode. And it worked. Consider the opening for the Impossible Planet. The Doctor and Rose arrive on the base and are surrounded by strange aliens quoting, "We need to feed. We need to feed." Then the titles start. You don't know what is going to happen next. It's sort of like a mini cliffhanger. Then after the credits, we got the ode finishing the sentence with, "We need to feed you." If we hadn't had that break in there, just wouldn't have been quite as tense. And it really got you into the episode and got you watching past the credits to find out what would happen. Anyways, I digress. So, first the things I liked. Doctor Who doing a spy parody was something I've wanted for years, and seeing it so well done was great. I like how the team was introduced, showing how they've had to make excuses for the periods of time they were traveling with the Doctor. It's kind of fun and amusing. Then the secret agents come, and we have an exciting car chase before being introduced to C, played by Stephen Fry. And as great as it was to have Stephen Fry in the show, I do feel like he was kind of wasted. His part could have been played by anyone, and having him shot so quickly felt like, well, kind of like someone giving you a slice of cake on your birthday, but taking it away and throwing the whole cake out after you took 2 bites. But at least we did have him as a guest star, albeit very briefly. Speaking of guest stars, we also had Sir Lenny Henry, who did, well, a fantastic job. I genuinely found his character really interesting and very well acted. Honestly, I would have been content with having him as the main villain. But as it turned out, we got a very unexpected cliffhanger. The Master is back! And that leads us into part 2, with the Doctor stuck in another dimension and our companions on a crashing plane. I thought it was kind of fun how they got out of it, with the Doctor sending them a solution from back in time. Did feel kind of like a ripoff of Blink, but I don't really have a problem with the show ripping off itself. I mean, life rips off itself all the time. Dr. Maeve even did it because she learned from past experiences like Blink. So, she ends up jumping around time a little bit with the Master following, meeting along the way some historical figures in Ada Lovelace, Charles Babbage, and Noor Inayat Khan. Man, I hope I'm saying that right. Well, I had heard of the first two, but not the latter. I love it when the show can teach me more about history. After all, that was part of the original pitch back in 1963. Quite honestly, though, I'm not sure why she had to erase their minds as opposed to all the other historical people she met. I mean, did Matt Smith erase Van Gogh's mind after he took him into the future? Or did Christopher Eccleston erase Charles Dickens' mind or anything? No. But, well, it's okay. It works for this episode. So the Master chases her through time. I thought overall Sacha Dhawan's portrayal of the Master was pretty good, but I feel like it maybe was a bit over the top for me at times. I don't think that's his fault, though, as I think it's how it was written. Him just charging into the Invention Gallery like that and starting to kill people, I feel like it might have been a little better if he just, I don't know, did it a bit more subtly, working in the background. I feel like that's more the Master. But either way, I do look forward to seeing more of him in the show and what he can do with the role in the future, maybe developing it a little more. The plotline of Yaz, Graham, and Ryan on the run was also neat, but I would have liked maybe a little more action with it. I liked the laser shoes, but I would have maybe liked to see more fun with the spy gadgets. Like, perhaps if they had to use stuff to break into Barton's hangar after landing the plane. Seeing more of the gadgets might have resolved a slight problem I did have with the episode. While it was a good episode, I thought maybe it was a little slow at times. I thought there was maybe a bit too much exposition and not enough action. Like, instead of the doctor just standing there explaining how she defeated the Kasavan, why couldn't we see it? They showed her putting the stuff in place to save the plane, why not the other as well? Also, honestly, I thought the music slowed things down a bit. The music barely changed throughout the episode, and moments where I think the music might have lifted the scene, there was none or barely any. And moments where I think it would have benefited from no music, there was. And then there were times when I just thought the wrong music was shoehorned in a way that didn't seem to fit. Like the scene where Graham was shooting lasers from his shoe at the bad guys. I felt like some fun, exciting music could have ramped it up a bit. But instead we got the same slow plotting music we got for the talking scenes. But who am I to criticize it? I'm not a musician. The aliens' plan of erasing everyone through technology was genuinely creepy. I needed to make a phone call after the episode, and it was a little nerve-wracking. And speaking about the end of the episode, let's talk about that ending. Gallifrey's been destroyed again, and she just gotten it back. This could be an interesting mystery, but I feel it is in danger of erasing the significance of Day of the Doctor, and I don't want that. That was such an amazing episode, and a great emotional beat for the Doctor. And personally, I like seeing stories that involve other Time Lords besides the Doctor and the Master every once in a while. I hope that once the mystery is solved, most likely at the end of the season, she can once again restore Gallifrey. I find Gallifrey and lore actually kind of interesting, so I am looking forward to that mystery being solved. I just hope that once it is solved, most likely at the end of the season, she can once again restore Gallifrey. Well, overall, I did enjoy the episode very much, even though it wasn't perfect. But I can't wait to see where the season goes from here. Before I go, I just wanted to mention another show I watched this week. Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss' new Dracula miniseries. I thought it was a decent show for the most part. It had some genuinely scary moments, but wasn't too over the top in a way that just overtook the story. My favorite episode of the series was definitely episode 2. It felt like kind of a whodunit where the audience knew who was doing it, but it was interesting to see everybody else figure it out along the way. And that cliffhanger, I was not expecting it at all. And while not the first Dracula adaptation to take the infamous vampire to modern times, I was looking forward to seeing how Moffat and Gatiss would handle it, and for the most part I was kinda disappointed. Making Renfield his lawyer was okay, but executed pretty poorly in my opinion. And to be honest, I don't quite understand why nobody tried to go after Dracula once he escaped from the Harker Institute. They just let him kind of live his undead life. It was like, hey, we've just let one of the most dangerous evil creatures loose on modern-day London, and hundreds of people are going to most assuredly die. Do you think we should do something about that? Nah, his lawyer made a dumb threat, so I'm just gonna go back to living my life as normal, pretending nothing is wrong. Really? However, there were some interesting things in the episode. I thought the character of Lucy was well written and well acted. Seeing characters from the novel reimagined like that reminded me of the good parts of their other series, Sherlock. And part of me wishes they had done more of that, like maybe saved Harker and Mina for modern day versions as well. The most disappointing part of the series I thought was the ending. I mean, who thought that was a good idea? I think they were trying to be clever, but it just made for an extremely boring ending. I want to see him go up in a blaze of sunlight or stabbed with a wooden stake. It's like the ultimate good versus evil. Here, good didn't really win, and evil didn't really win. It was just, oh, let's die together silently on this table and fade to black. What an anticlimax! It was like maybe they were trying to make him a sympathetic villain or something, but no, he was pure evil throughout the entire series. Nothing about him said, hey, I'm a somewhat sympathetic villain. I deserve to go out on my own terms, and you're gonna cry. So, it was an okay show with a few good moments, but overall, kinda disappointing. Well, thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel, including our web series where my cousin and I play a couple of cousins who investigate strange mysteries and fight against monsters and evil robots. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button. I'm Chester Westerford, and I'll see you next week for my review of Doctor Who Series 12, Episode 3, Orphan 55. Goodbye for now.